Hello, welcome to another lesson of Western Neo-Aramaic. We will begin today's lesson with a verse from Matthew 16:24. I will try to translate it closer to the Aramaic format. If any one of you wants to be behind me or wants to walk behind me, he must deny himself and carry his cross and follow me. Lib'aha mneichon. Notice this three words. This is equivalent to this. If any one of you, Lib'aha mneichon wants to be or wants to walk behind me. Ib'ai yellech ruhlay. Notice how concise and simple Aramaic is. So one word can really be the equivalent of 3 or 4 words in other languages. So Ib'ai wants to be or wants to be. Yellech means to follow or walk. Ruhlay means behind me. Yenker or yencher in the Jubadin dialect. Yencher bnifshe. He must deny himself. All of this is just said in 2 words. Yencher bnifshe. We ti'an. U is and. Iti'an means carry and carry. Slibe. Slibe is his cross from sliba, which is cross. Sliba is cross. And follow me. ويثيلي رحلي. So ithele in this sense follow or to come towards. ويثيلي رحلي. So let's read it one more time. لبأحا منيخن إبعي يلخ رحلي ينشر بنفشي ويتعن صليبي ويثيلي رحلي. رحلي means behind me. So basically will come to follow me behind me, basically. So ithele is really to come and in this sense behind me or follow me, and then ruhlay is behind me. So now let's go to the main topic for today. We were continuing with the adjectives. Now, one concept in Semitic languages, particularly Aramaic and Arabic, is what's you can think of as the sound or the rhythm of the word. So for example, in English, we don't really think of that very much. We have stressed syllables, but that's it. But in these languages, if you have a word like carry, it has a certain rhythm to it, versus another verb, let's say, understand. So these two have very different rhythms, and as such, they have their own rules. So this might be a bit of a foreign concept for an English speaker, but this is very well established in detail if anyone knows Arabic grammar, and also it's very helpful for Aramaic and Syriac dialects. So what do we mean by this? When we want to look at adjectives, this will be a good place to start. We want to look at the rhythm or the composition of that adjective to understand how its rules or how its grammatical rules will be. For example, we saw in the last lesson, we saw the adjective uzor, which means small. Uzor is in the masculine indefinite form, and we said it means small. Now, to really understand how the rest of the forms of this adjectives will behave, we have to go back and see what its rhythm is. So its rhythm, and we're going to use the format of أفعل, that's the usual way. In Arabic it is fa'ala, so this is the rhythms we go by. So in Aramaic we're going to use P, Ain, Lam. So أفعل in this case. So أزعر sounds like أفعل. أزعر أفعل. And for this reason, we can predict what the rest, how this adjective will behave. So if an adjective is of the form أفعل in the masculine indefinite, then its masculine definite will be of the form فعولة. أفعل فعولة. So أزعر will become زعورة in the masculine definite. And for the feminine indefinite, it will be the same as the masculine definite. So it will also be زعورة. Now, أفعل in the feminine definite will be فعولشة. فعولشة. So we're going to see in the feminine definite, أزعر becomes زعورشة. زعورشة. Now let's go to the next form. The next are the adjectives of the rhythm فاعل. فاعل. And for example, we have the verb or the adjective كلل. كلل, which means few, small in number, so few. That's the adjective. كلل means few. For this adjective, the فاعل in the masculine indefinite, when we want to convert it to masculine definite, it becomes فاعيلة. فاعيلة. So كلل becomes كليلة. And the same for the feminine indefinite. For the feminine definite, فاعل becomes فاعيلشة. So كلل becomes كليلشة. We're going to go to the next form, which is إفعل. إفعل. So we had أفعل, now we have إفعل. This is a very common form, again, or rhythm for the adjectives. In the masculine indefinite, we have an example, which is إغعر. إغعر. إغعر means wide. So إفعل becomes in the masculine definite فعلة. فعلة. So إغعر becomes غعرة. غعرة. It's a little bit difficult to say. Same for the feminine indefinite. Now for the feminine definite, إفعل becomes فعلثة. فعلثة. So we see إغعر becomes غعرثة. 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 Now we are done with the three main rhythms of adjectives that we can use. We have others, there's a few others. However, these make up the majority of the adjectives you will encounter in Western Neo-Aramaic. So there are really not that many rhythms in order to understand. However, there are two more rules that we need to look into. One of them are the adjectives that end in the sound ay. Ay. So for example, we have the word aromai. Aromai, which means Aramaic, or Syrianai. Syrianai, which means Syriac. Not to be confused with Surai, which means Syrian. So we have aromai. Now, in the masculine definite form, these adjectives take a different form. So aromai becomes aramu. Aramu. Notice it's a bit different. So aramu is the masculine definite form. Now here's something remarkable about this format is that the feminine indefinite and the masculine definite are not the same in this case, which tells us that perhaps these were not the same for the other forms as well in the past, but they kind of merged into each other. So we have aramu for the masculine definite and aramui for the feminine indefinite. And then for the feminine definite, we have aramuitha. Aramuitha. Aramuitha also means the Aramaic language. So basically, it's like saying the Aramaic. When we say it in the feminine definite form, it means also the Aramaic language. So let's read those one more time. Aromai, aramu, aramui, aramuitha. Finally, I want to also mention that the adjectives that end in a ba or in a beth, also there's something to keep in mind about those. Of course, first you have to see which of the rhythms they follow, but because we have the rule in Western Neo-Aramaic that whenever we double the B, it becomes a P. And this is a very unique rule. So we have the verb, for example, rab, which means large in the masculine indefinite. The masculine definite should really be rabba. However, because we double it, it becomes rappa with a P. The same follows for the feminine indefinite. And then for the feminine definite, it becomes raptha with a P. Raptha. So I'm going to stop here. This will help us a little bit with building sentences going forward. But this should cover the adjectives that we need. One more thing I will mention are the superlatives. So, for example, we have uz'ur means small. If I want to say smaller than, I say azzar, which means that the rhythm becomes apal. And this is the rule I also wanted to highlight. Thank you.